Catastrophe was back this week. This is the third series of Rob Delaney and Sharon Horgan's sitcom. Now, Gary watched about half of the first episode and gave up, didn't you?
Yeah, didn't quite like the language. Don't know why.
Yeah, a bit of choice.
Yes.
Luke, you watched both series all the way through.
I
think I watched all of the series and the first two episodes of series 2, I think.
Do you remember why that was?
I think just I sort of not lost the rhythm of it, but it fell out of my routine of what I was watching that week. I can't remember. Was it November of 2015?
Yeah, it was an odd one. It very rarely happens. It's almost American in model. It started in January 2015 to a lot of acclaim from critics and fans alike. Sharon Horgan and Rob Delaney having met on Twitter and wrote the sitcom. And then the second series was on in November, as Matt says, of the same year. So it happens very rarely, if ever.
But it jumped 3 years, didn't it? The second.
It was
series.
really strange. Yeah, they already had their son at 3.
Yeah,
he was just being born in the first.
The first series, I think, was a lot. The pace of the first series was a lot faster. It was about this couple who met, and then she got pregnant. They decided to stay together, and the first series was all the lead up to the birth, and then the second series, you flash forward, she's just had her second child. I felt it sort of slowed down, and that's why I stopped watching. I watched the first episode of the third series and sort of ascertained that she almost had an affair with like a younger man.
No, it wasn't an affair. It was like a one-night
stand.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember if she'd slept with him or not. Got the morning after pill, and he found the receipt. Rob found the receipt for it, and that's basically it, isn't it, Luke? That's sort of where we are.
That's basically where we are.
First episode is her trying to remember what happened, and him trying to get to the bottom of it, and they're sort of asking their friends. Mark Bonner and Ashley Jensen pop up briefly in this. I wish they'd been on screen for more time. What did you think, Luke, of this first episode?
I quite like this. But I'm sort of don't know whether I like it because, well, basically I like Sharon Horgan and Rob Delaney. They're a very believable pair on screen. A lot of the dialogue just does sound like them chatting rather than, spewing lines from the script. They've got really believable chemistry.
What we were saying about Olivia Colman and David Tennant at the beginning of the podcast when we were at Broadchurch, nice sort of synchronicity.
I didn't find it hysterically funny.
And I would agree with that. I mean, I think the characters are well drawn, and it's believable that they're having this tension because they got together on a whim. As the title suggests, it was a catastrophe, and now there's sort of tension between them. There's that scene at the end where she sort of revealed what she did, and he's like, I don't want you to sleep on the sofa. Then she tries to sort of snuggle up to him and then says, oh, maybe it would be better if you did. And that all felt very real. But at the same time, I have to say I didn't laugh. And that begs the question, do you have to laugh at a sitcom for it to be a good sitcom?
Stop it.
Stop what?
You're giving me the massive cold shoulder. Why are you doing that? You're making me feel shit.
I'm not making you feel anything.
Well, then you're projecting your bad mood onto me, or...
Am I? At least I'm not getting secret electrolysis on my nipples.
What? That was a special offer. You're going through my emails.
You've never done that before. Why now? Who are you doing that for?
Me. I'm tired of plucking them.
It takes a second.
It takes more than a second, and it was a special offer.
The jokes about like Brexit and Trump that just seemed like they were there just for the trailer.
I know you think I'm a terrible person, but I guess I was angry.
Don't do that. Don't blame me.
I was upset about the money you gave Fergal and the French hussy and the fact that, you wouldn't apologise or admit that you'd done anything wrong. And, it's a tough time. There's a lot of Brexit. You're a new president.
Don't put that on me.
Well, I'm just saying it's a tough time.
I think they missed a trick. They teased the storyline of Sharon's dad's dementia last series, which was used and then quickly forgotten. I know that it doesn't have to be at the forefront, but I think they could have done some really interesting stuff with that. And it doesn't mind telling stories of a different kind. I just worry that it hasn't really told stories. This episode wasn't about anything particularly.
No. I suppose it was just sort of clearing up from the sort of, I suppose, cliffhanger of the last series. Carrie Fisher sort of looms large over this as Rob's mum when she'll be coming back.
She is, yeah. She apparently prior to this they've only done things with her for a day, and they had her for a week shooting this. So presumably she's going to be a big presence in this new series. It's also big on Amazon in the US. They love it over there as well, or at least critics do. So it's got this sort of... I think when things become big like that, they kind of lose their charm.
Yeah, it's
and
like
not quite...
I mean, I think that's why we like this country so much, because no one else watches it. Although at the same time, we'd like people to watch it.
Yeah. Do you feel compelled to watch the next one?
I might do, just out of good grace to the characters, really. But I'm not in any big rush to do it. I might rest it like Gary does.